Hello again, everybody. So we are playing with this Circuit Playground Express from Adafruit, and it's got built-in sensors, input output kind of things, but it also has all these pads, these pins, these pads for 7 or 8. I forget which it is. I'm sorry. It's either 7 or 8 actual um, pins. It goes up to A7, but starts at A0, so that would be 8. And some of them are also 3.3 volts and ground, and then this V out is for 5 volts. Now, as you notice, these are alligator clip available, compatible. So depending on what you want to plug in, you're going to need a variety of cords. Some of the things you're going to want to plug in can work with just alligator to alligator. Other things you want to plug in are going to need alligator to pin, and other things you want to plug in will need alligator to socket. Now, the alligator to pin and alligator to socket tend to come in together in a pack that I've seen, is what I get. And they're 10 of each. Then alligator to alligator is just, regular kind of thing. So, what I want to plug in are some neopixels. Now, there are different kinds of neopixels, and I like this kind. Just it's a strand of Christmas lights, literally. But what I like about them is I can just strip the ends and then use alligator clips. So I don't have to solder. So I can get a string of 50 for like what, $15 and cut them up into bite-sized chunks for groups, and then I can just strip them. I don't have to do any soldering, as opposed to this kind of um, NeoPixel strip, which are awesome. And if you're going to use the whole strip, it's great. And you can cut these if you want. But if you cut them, you're going to have to solder. Now, these require alligator to pin. That's what I said. You're going to need multiple wires. So let's do this. Let's hook up the first one, this one kind of thing. Now, very important things. These wires, don't let them touch when you're running this. Make sure they're not touching. There's going to be a power wire, a signal wire or data wire, and then a ground wire. Coloring is not always universal, so you're going to have to read on the light. So if you're not going to be able to see it here, but if you read in here, it actually says that the red one is 5 volts, the white one in the middle is the DI, data in, and then the blue one is ground. So, a best practice is to always hook ground up first and remove it last. So that's my ground. What did I go to before? I think I went to A0. I did. I went to A0. Let's just go over there. I'm going to move over to that side. I'm going to go ground, A0, and power. Alrighty, so here we are. And here we are with some neopixels. Okay. So there's some things with neopixels, and we're going to go to the make code. So I already have a low code here. So on start, I'm going to show the ring, and it's actually just going to show one light. I kind of like doing that to make sure I know the program's running the correct version of the program. So I will change this with different versions so I know that that's right. Now with neopixels, again, under lights, there's blocks for neopixels, which is really nice. If you're with a microbit, you have to go to extensions and go get those blocks. So it's not a big deal, right? So with neopixels, you have to tell it you have a strip of neopixels, and this is a variable. You can change that name. Create a strip on A1. Alrighty, not A0, A1. Okay. You have to tell where it is. You have to tell how many. Then a funny little thing, you have to tell it the format, because the two that I have, that and those Christmas lights and then that other trend, they're different formats. there's a GRB format and an RGB format. How do you know if you got which format it is? Well, you test it by having it make the pixels red or green. I'm sorry, red or green or green or red, because it's green, red, blue, or it's red, green, blue. So if I tell it to make them red and they show up green, it's the other format. And then I'm going to make it clear the strip on start, just in case there's anything sitting there. Now I'm going to use buttons to make things happen. And again, these are just blocks in the neopixels, right? So you got to go down and read through all these different blocks, play with them, see what they do. When I press button B with a click, I'm going to set them red, and then I have to show an interesting thing. Just because you set them red doesn't mean they show up red. You actually have to show. And then on button A, long click. Oh, there's different clicks available. There's click, long click, up and down, kind of like a game controller kind of thing. Slide it up, slide it down kind of thing. I'm going to make it go green. And I just happen to put a pause in here just to see what would be different kind of thing. But what that pause is going to do, logically, I cannot change to red for at least 2 seconds after they go green. Right. Now, I was trying to use the forever loop with one color and then on button press do the other. But that forever loop is pretty dominant. It is going to just run. So I was barely getting a flicker of another color. All right, so I need to download this. Let's call it NeoPixel 3. Okay, I'm going to download that. And again, it's telling you how to do this. You need to plug it in. You need to press the reset button. The light should go green, and then drag it onto C Play Boot. Right? Okay. So I'm going to switch over to Cam. So I'm going to press the reset button, and the lights went green. So now it's ready, but now I need to get back to here. So here's my C Play Boot. And I need to go to my downloads. See, it's sitting right over here. And I need to get, there you go, Circuit Playground 3. Click, hold, drag that, and drop that onto C Play Boot. And things should flash, right? Things should make noise. Now let's go back to the document camera. And we will notice, you might not be able to see it really well, but there is one orange light going. As I said, on start, do this. And now if I press button A, they should go one color. Where's button A? Long click. Oh, that was long click. And then button B was a short click. So there you go. They changed. Okay. So now I'm going to switch to the neopixels. And so again, unplug power first. Unplug the data, unplug the ground. Okay, ground is always plug it in first, unplug it first. Unplug it last. So here, okay, it's got words here. It's got the 5 volt is the red. So those are extra wires for extra power and extra ground. 5 volt is red, data is green, and ground is white. So it doesn't matter what color your wires are, you just have to know which one is which. So ground is white, so I'm going to plug ground in first. Then I'm going to plug my data in. A1, right? Yeah, A1. And then I'm going to plug in my power. All right. And let's just see what happens, right? All right, so let's press the button. And we notice we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights that are red. We're going to press the other button. And we have 5 lights that are green. But it's actually backwards. This was actually supposed to be, this button, right, is supposed to be green. And and this button is supposed to be red. That's the RGB GRB thing. That these two kind of lights are different format. But you would know that if you're just doing red and green, right? But you know that from the code, correct? Because this is button A. Let's press button A. Button A is showing up red. And button A is supposed to show up green. Well, all I got to do is change this. It's right now in RGB format, so I change it back to GRB format. Let's change this to NeoPixel 4. Let's download it. Yeah. Let's press reset. All right. And let's go to downloads. We're looking for number 4. Drag it onto the C play boot. Thing should have flashed. And now we will go back to the webcam. And again, A was supposed to be red, right? Or green. Now I got myself confused. No, A was supposed to be green, right? A was supposed to be green. Okay. And now it is. So it's just that format change. And so A is supposed to be green. And that is supposed to be red. But again, there's a long click and a short click. I'm short clicking this and nothing's happening. So this one was set to long click, which is just a little bit longer. And then this one set to short click and it works. All right. Awesome. Play. Have fun.